So I'm not a doctor, but they say a man is supposed to sleep what? How many hours? Amwai?
7 to 8.
7 to 8?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'll tell you to turn off the aircon in the studio. It's a bit cold again. Anyway, so a man is supposed to sleep how many hours? That's 7 to 8 hours. So when you are on Amwai, how many hours have you slept?
I think 6.
6?
Yeah.
So you have a 1 hour deficit?
Yeah.
I slept 3, so I've got a 4 hour deficit. So ladies and gentlemen, now with these 2 gentlemen, we've got oh, by the way, no, it's not 2 gentlemen in the studio. It's Friday today, so we do have DJ Bonai.
Oh, it's Friday. Oh.
Yeah, I gotta talk to Chris. Chris, were we able to talk to DJ Bonai? Yeah. Oh yeah?
Yes.
Bonai. Yeah. Umelala masangapi bwana? Unajua
Nimelala 3 hours.
Wewe bwana.
Nimelala 3 hours.
How
Mimi
do-
juzi sikulala at all.
How do you sleep? How do you sleep for 3 hours? So I've slept for 3 hours. DJ Bonai slept for 3 hours. Amwai Brand has slept for 6 hours. He's got a 1 hour deficit. So in total, on morning trip today, you have a group of gentlemen who in total have a sleep deficit of what? 9 hours. So if anything happens on the way, we do apologize in advance. That is to Chris and the entire team that is working on the morning drift today. We are going to try as much as possible with our bitter eyes and our tired brains to get the ball rolling on the morning drift. Guess what? Join us online at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. Amwai Brand, where you at?
It's at Amwai Brand. That is on Twitter, on Facebook, and other social medias. It's just Amwai Brand.
That's what it is. All right, Bonai, where you at?
Yes, sorry.
Uko wapi? Uko wapi bwana mitandaoni?
Mtandaoni niko kila mahali by the way.
Bwana ndio
At DJ Bonai Facebook,
DJ
Twitter,
Bonai.
everywhere at
Habari.
DJ Bonai.
Habari ndio hiyo maze. Anyway, it's Friday, so that means that DJ Bonan is in the house. We are ready to get the ball rolling. A lot of things happening in the country right now. But my brand, let me just pick your few sentiments for you this week. Just before we take a tiny breath and then go to the dailies, what has stood out for you this week in as much as the economy and our lives are concerned?
In terms of the economy, I think I'm so political that sometimes I don't look on the other side. But politically speaking, I think what has stood out is what is happening at the parliament buildings in regards to the 4 commissioners.
I think.
Because to some extent, we're just having this conversation and they say their goose is already cooked. So there's no coming out of this. They'll not come out alive. They have to go, whichever way you look at it, because the person that wants them out is actually the president wants them out, and the president is the person that is actually going to, form that tribunal and select the committee that is going to be sitting down and listening to their petition and hearing and all that. So somebody was arguing and saying, do we really need to take them through the process? So we just ask them to resign because whichever way they're still going to go.
Right? Mm-hmm. Isn't it? But the way we've seen the issues around the changing of the DCI in the country, or former DCI was given a different role, because the constitution is quite clear on how you're supposed to get him out of office, isn't it?
Yep.
Or her out of office. And then, I mean, they say, here's the thing, Amwai, they say, when you have a new boss, let them do their job. That's what it is, man. And if you start arguing with a boss, you're going to be on the wrong.
When you have a new boss and you let them do their job and their job is to frustrate you, how is that even okay?
They will say is trying to strategize. New implementation, new ideas, not frustrations. That's what they say, man. Anyway, Amwai, that's exactly what's going on. Anyway, we take a tiny breather right here on One of the Morning Drift. Once we come back, Amwai Brown and I will be taking you straight to your dailies this morning so we can get to show you what it is that you are waking up to in terms of your biggest headlines this morning. All right. Let's do siku ya Friday where we get to sit back. DJ Bonan is going to come back and band the studio with music. No, not literally. Anyway, Amwai Brian, I know you do have the Daily Nation.
Yes, I do have the
What is
Daily.
taking center stage?
Top story on the Daily Nation, I think it's just one of the stories that is actually also on the Standard, and one that has been on subject of debate for the better part of this week, and this has to do with the CBC curriculum. Now we understand that the task force actually did table an interim report yesterday at State House before President William Ruto. Now, this is the thing. Ruto reverses Uhuru's plan in regards to the CBC. Now, it's actually, we revealed the intrigues why Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms disregarded recommendations of curriculum experts from the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development and the Kenya National Council, as well as the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, who called for domiciling of JSS within secondary school. Now, JSS is the junior secondary schools. This is the thing. So when this committee actually did table this interim report, those recommendations that were given by education stakeholders, and we are talking about the KICD and the Kenya National Examination Council, that is NEC, as well as the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education. All these are people who are directly involved in the education sector. But this is the thing. This report does not have any of the things that they actually did recommend. Yeah. Now, this is the thing. Let's just take a look at CBC at a glance and what has been recommended. Now, junior secondary schools, that is grade 7, 8, and 9, will be domiciled in the existing primary schools as opposed to what was proposed earlier. They were supposed to have gone to secondary schools, and some parents did argue that to some extent we need not to have them in high school because they are so young, and it could actually, you know, amount to bullying because of these young grade 6 students who are actually going to junior high. Yes. Now, second thing is that they just concluded grade 6 exams, and you understand this is the first time we're actually having the national exams for grade 6, will not be used for placement in junior secondary schools. Now, this actually means that they're still going to be in primary school, and I understand they're going to be there for the next 3 years, as opposed to what had actually been put across. Now, as an extra classroom and laboratory will be built in every primary school teachers handling grades 7, 8, and 9 to be retrained and retooled, because these are supposed to be junior high. So to some extent, they were supposed to have gone to high school. But now that they're getting to remain in their specific primary schools, then we'll have to retrain again the teachers that are going to be handling them. Then we have about 1.2 million total registered learners for just concluded grade 6 tests, and 30,000 additional teachers to be recruited by January 2023 to facilitate transition and bridge the gaps when it comes to matters shortage of teachers in the country. Yeah. And we have also, by March 2023, that is when we are going to see the full report being tabled before the president and actually see exactly what has been, what has been recommended. Now, this is just the interim report, and as we put it, Simba, the interim report does not have the recommendations that were given by the education stakeholders, and we are talking about big stakeholders in this particular case.
I will tell you that, though, because that's never, by the way, there's not really telling you what is on the Standard as well, because the way the Daily Nation has put it this morning is the same way the Standard has also put it. Okay, let's then talk about it. Here's the thing, though. When this is what it is. Ruto came in, and during his campaign, he did say that, well, they're going to look into this CBC curriculum, isn't it? Now, with the way it is then, it was supposed to start this year with the junior secondary. The guys who are essentially in grade 6 were supposed to transition into junior secondary, isn't it? But then they're not going to do that, and they probably have to wait up to 2023 March. But then again, they have to remain in this particular primary schools for the next 3 years. Amwai, another confusion now is going to follow, because then once you have them remain in this particular primary schools for the next 3 years, we do know by virtue of you being in grade 6, you do have 2 years under 844 to get out of that particular institution, isn't it? Is that not saying they're going to have a population inflow again in these primary schools, that we want to have a place to sort of settle them, going by the fact that the Uhuru Kenyatta's government was already building classrooms in high schools to accommodate these junior high school students as in Amwai? So confusion, I'm telling you. Now, other parents didn't know. Now it's clear. They know what to do as from next year. The students have to go back again to these primary schools. But as you said, what was the point then of going into that expensive exercise? But I call it expensive because you did see the commission. The commission had numbers and names behind it. And then at the end of it all, you disregard whatever it is that they've recommended to you. Amwai, was there any point? What can you say generally, like most critics have been saying, we are not ready for CBC?
To some extent, yeah, that's exactly what we should have done if we are not ready for it. Because there's a lot of confusion. And I was listening to a radio station today, and somebody called in and says, you have a child that has just done grade 6 and they're expecting to go to junior high. Then you tell them, then again, they go back to the primary school, and also the parents. And so meaning, like, to some extent, they're going to be here longer than actually they were supposed to be. So what exactly are we doing? I don't know. And for me, I think the issue is how the Daily Nation is actually putting it. Well, these stakeholders, why are we disregarding the take of the people that are in the education sector? That's the thing. Why are you not looking at that? Because these are the people that handle this directly. So if at all you need recommendations, then you need to listen to them. That's the thing. So what happens next? It brings a lot of confusion in regards to this particular curriculum of education, and I don't know.
Anyway, that's the same story that has been given a big headline. Yes, on the Standard. But on the side of that, it's now clear that the fate of the 4 ABC dissenting officials in the just concluded general election on August lies solidly with President William Ruto. He has to decide what to do with them, because according to law, Amwai, it's you gotta clear your term and get out. According to law, they did nothing wrong. That's their job, isn't it? To either agree or disagree, support the commission, and make sure that we have a clear result. According to them, the result wasn't that clear, so that's why they dissented. So the question is then, under what purview in law are you taking them out of work?
Gross misconduct.
Isn't it? Anyway,
that's what is being trouble, gross misconduct and abuse of office and things like that.
Which misconduct is that?
To some extent, disregard to the Constitution. I've read a few of those reasons behind their why they're pushing for their ousting.
But I'll tell you though, it lies solidly within the president.
Exactly. That's what you say. He's the final decision maker. And you remember, he actually came and pronounced himself on that particular matter on Twitter when he said these people are supposed to be removed out of office, because he actually did call them rogue. And so if they are rogue, the president himself, the appointing authorities are supposed to be looking at who exactly is going to, listen to this, to the hearings and give them a hearing and decide on the matter, has actually decided, prosecuted them even without a hearing, then to some extent, they don't stand a chance of actually remaining in office.
Oh, I will tell you that, man. Anyway.
Because this will be a long battle. And to some extent, we will actually go back to court and, fighting for this and that. But at the end of the day, how things operate in this country, some institutions are not entirely independent. So if somebody needs to be calling the shots, and they do call the shots.
I will tell you that. Anyway, that's the way it is.
Something else, Simba, just because this has to do with the Hustler Fund. And barely 24 hours after President William Ruto launched the 50 billion Hustler Fund on Wednesday, a total of 413 million has been disbursed to some 683,000 borrowers, and 7.7 million repaid already. Now, but even as the uptake of the short-term loan facility continues to gain traction in the market, questions are emerging about its sustainability due to the high risk of default, as has been witnessed with other near similar schemes, especially by fintechs.
That's what it is, isn't it?
People did take advantage of that and went to borrow. And some people are doing it just because they wanted to try, because I know some people did that just because they wanted to see whether they are real to get it.
And it works, isn't it? Yeah, as of yesterday, 408 million worth of loans borrowed, isn't it? And that is going to continue. By the way, the same story here, Amwai, has been covered on page 6 and 7 of the Standard on some of the questions that have not been answered about Hustlers Fund. By the way, once you get there, Amwai, let me just tell you this before we then exit the Standard. On page 7 of the Standard, Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, they have a graduation on the 9th of December. That is this. That's next Friday, isn't it? 2022. They have nominated His Excellency Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, AGH, all right, for a honorary degree upon recommendation of the University Senate and approval by the University Council. The university nominates has nominated Musalia Mudavadi for the contentment of honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. What is that? Doctorate of Humane Letters. This guy is just about to be a doctor, isn't it? So we'll be calling him what?
Dr. Musalia Mudavadi.
Musalia Mudavadi?
Yeah. ANC party.
Anyway, congratulations are in order for him. That's what it is. That's the only thing that we can say. Amwai, Ghana is going to face, just before we rush and tell you what is trending online, Ghana is going to face Uruguay. So far, Morocco has gone through, wow. Morocco has gone through. That's the biggest headline here. But Ghana is going to face Uruguay in a clash that was witnessed in 2010. I'll be telling you stories of where I was in 2010 and how essentially I became not myself after Ghana did not qualify to the semi-finals of that World Cup. But here's the thing, take a tiny breather. Once we come back, we do know that you're online talking to us. Once we come back, we shall be seeing exactly what is trending online, so we're going to talk about it together. What is going online briefly before we take a tiny break right here on the Morning Drift. Let me just confirm our tweets ready so we can rush onto them right now, see exactly what it is the Kenyans are talking about. We have them ready. All right, let me just pick this first one. Atwoli. It's essentially Atwoli meeting William Ruto. Yes, Amwai, why are you laughing? Yeah, where we held discussions on Kenya's ratification.
I wanted us to talk about it.
Oh yeah, but I was sourcing of labor. I also sought to learn more things from the president. This same guy used to say, "Kata miti bwana, huyu mtu hawezi kuwa president kata." Anyway, what you make sense of it?
I don't know. Politics is politics.
Yep. Is that a politician? Is the SG?
He calls himself a politician. Politics is politics. And this is one person that Simba you'll never have imagined that will be sitting with President William Ruto and just have a conversation or laugh like this or do the, the way they are. I don't know. To some extent, this is what made us, some people hate the handshake, because people are like, for all this time we've been, hating on this particular side. So why are you shaking hands? You're making us look like fools because we believed in you and things like that. Yeah. Yada, yada, yada. So I don't know. I'd never have imagined for, like Kotu's Secretary General Francis Atwoli will be dining with the president, actually sitting and laughing and doing this, because he had a lot to say about Ruto when we were heading to elections. Yeah. He is the same person that to some extent promised the country that this man's name is not going to be on the ballot, and it was. He's the same person that said miti katu sugoi because watu wataamini inaitwa radio zao na watavunja TV na kila kitu. And to some extent watu hawakuamini. Maybe he just didn't know which side of the political divide will not actually be believing. But yeah.
You say that, isn't it? A couple of reactions. I can read you for a couple of those reactions of what Kenyans are saying. Kenyans, they like this particular topics when it comes to him talking about this. Now, here's the thing. The first reaction is from Atwoli. Litza. Is it the same guy? No, actually. Yeah, no. This guy is called The Cat. And he's saying, well done, Papa. That's it. Mambo ya siasa wachana nayo. And then this guy called Peter Daniel says, mzee wewe ndio unajua kumeza. Kekia, Cake City. I don't know what this is. Anyway, a lot of Kenyans really responding, and the reactions are not good. Yeah?
So listen to this. Somebody asked, what would you tell Francis Atoli if you met him today? This is a question they just asked. And somebody says, since alisema miti katwe sugoi, sasa warudi wapande miti sugoi.
But you end up wapande miti sugoi. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's a fantastic one. Anyway, Amwai, can we look at this one this morning as well, so we can talk about it? We've already mentioned it. It's from State House, Kenya, talking about the CBC report that was presented to President William Ruto Thursday at State House, indicated that grade 6 Kenya primary school education assessment of KPSE will not be used for placement in junior. So why did they do it?
It's going to be used to do, look at the progress of the education and give some feedback. I don't know. You're using this as a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the SI unit. Let's see how it works. Not trials and errors.
Come on. Now, you know, when you hit the wall, just come in and say, guys, listen. We gotta figure this out. Now,
you remember there's a time when we started this and we saw a lot of recalling some of the projects that had actually been launched, and we said when you have 2 kids in the house, you have the firstborn and the lastborn. And you as a father, you send the firstborn and you send one of your kids, and that is the firstborn. You send him to go pick something from the bedroom and bring you. Then the lastborn starts reacting, and because he feels like he's the one that should have been sent. So you take that back to the bedroom and you send your lastborn son to go actually pick it, so that he actually comes and says, by the way, it is me that actually brought this to you. Well, initially it had been brought, it's just that he decided to recall so that he takes the credit. So that's the thing. So to some extent, that's exactly what we are seeing here, because when you look at some of the things that are being, we are foregoing and saying, okay, this is not, we are not going to do this, let's try something different. Just to some extent, you want at the end of the day to come and say, we are the people. I am the person that started this, and not the previous regime.
True indeed.
Because,
just a final response, just before we take this break out, Moi. This is somebody, this is Job, Franklin is saying, tukicheza tutabaki na education system kama Uganda. From the famous prestigious pride one got from a studying in a Uganda system and joining Makerere University to today, a Ugandan grade 7, class 8 people in Kenya cannot even answer class 4 questions in a Kenyan system. His sentiments. This is not me trying to start a brawl between Uganda. Of course, we know it's there. Anyway, but I don't want to be part of it.
Okay.
Proper sentiment story, isn't it? But anyway, but...
I just wanted to tell you, there's some general there that will be coming for you if you decide to go for that.
I don't want him to come from it. Anyway, here's the thing though. We take a tiny breather right here on the Morning Drift. Once we come back then, that man right there, Amwai brand, will be taking you straight to the newsroom where he's going to tell you the biggest headlines that are taking center stage in the Kenyan economy today. For me, I'll be back from 11 to 12. I'll be telling you exactly what is trending in the business world. Top or not, big exits from the Kenyan economy. I'll be telling you what that is once we come back.
Certified Homes has been giving you prime plots in prime locations. And this time around, Tumeland. Tumeland wapi? Hey, Tumeland Juja Farm in the heart of Juja along the Thika Super Highway. Call 0711128128 to grab a piece of Juja Executive. Invest with Certified Homes.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
So mimi nilikuwa mmoja wa timu kubwa ya Hasla na gojea mazao yake.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, ni awamu nyingine tena ya bunge la mwenyeji ambapo tunasikia tu maoni ya wenyeji, hasa wananchi wa kawaida. Je, maoni ni yapi?
Anakwambia wananchi ndio kila kitu. Unaona dips na system ni wananchi. Unaona vile wamenyorosha watu bwana.
Tumeng'oa nanga kwenye bunge la mwenyeji.
So ile kitu nasema tunamuomba asituachilie.
Good to have you join us on Heart to Heart.
We bring you stories of people who, despite the pressures they experienced, still trusted God to see them through.
The seeds that was sown in me helped me navigate and overcome that period of my life.
New testimonies, new insights, and even better revelation of the good things God has in store for us.
There is always a blessing waiting for someone in every episode.
Welcome kids, this is Kids Connection.
Dema, how many trips can you make to fill a bottle just like those kids?
I guess 5 trips.
Welcome to the program, and thank you so much for staying with us here on the Morning Drift. It is time for the news. Let's start. Now, 8 police officers from the disbanded Special Service Unit of the DCI have been released on a personal bond of 500,000. Now, Cecily, let me just check that again. Kahawa Law Court Chief Magistrate Diana Mochache released the 8 officers after the investigating officers failed to produce a report on DNA test from the suspects.
After spending more than 30 days behind bars, the 8 police officers from the disbanded Special Service Unit SSU will now enjoy a temporary reprieve after the court granted them a bond.
Beginning with the prosecution team.
Senior Magistrate of the Kahawa Law Court released the 8 officers on a personal bond of 500,000 after the state failed to produce before the court the result of the DNA test of the suspects. While arguing the case, the defense lawyers told the court that the suspects were harassed by the police at the custody, adding that they were even beaten and intimidated by the police.
Our plans have been intimidated. Been taken to government chemists without order. In particular, one of the respondents called David Kipsoi. Yesterday at 10:30 a.m. was handcuffed, assaulted.
I need the person who was assaulted, chamber, escort him to the chamber. I want to see the injuries. Yeah, where is the person who was assaulted? We need to see the injuries for the record.
The state lawyers admitted to have used force against the officers.
We would like to get information. It is strange. We just heard it from the bar. To us, the prosecution team, this is a strange allegation. But if this honorable court allows us time, we come back at 2:30, we'll have a proper response to the defense as regards that particular allegation. It's a serious allegation.
Justice Diana Mochache also released the 3 other officers who were arrested 3 days ago. The 13 SSU officers were arrested after they were suspected to have taken part in the disappearance of 2 Indian nationals and their Kenyan driver, Shadrack Kareria. Lookuptv.
Now, Presidential Working Party on Education Reform has recommended that the just concluded grade 6 assessment will not be used for placement in junior secondary school. Now, in the report, the stakeholders say the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment KIPSEA will be used to monitor learning progress. The Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms on Thursday met President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi, to table the interim report.
My own kids go to the government system, the education system that I preside over. If I cannot trust my children with the system that I am presiding over, why should anybody else do? You know? You cannot be a parent in a different system and you pretend to be a leader in a system that you have no faith in, you know? So that's what is pushing this conversation. I'm just a parent here now, having a conversation with you about my daughter's education, you know? And I really want to know where this is going.
Following the report, the team has recommended that junior secondary schools, grade 7, grade 8 and grade 9 will be domiciled in the existing primary schools. This came as a result of parents complaining about how young the grade 6 students were to be taken to junior high in high schools. The report also recommends that the grade 6 Kenya Primary Schools Education Assessment KIPSEA will not be used for placement in junior secondary schools. Instead, it will be used to monitor learning progress and provide feedback to education sector players on areas that require intervention. Every primary school will also get an extra classroom and laboratory in the next 1 year. In the meantime, primary schools neighboring secondary schools will share laboratory facilities, with members of parliament urged to support in having these facilities built. The team also recommended that TSC, KICD and the Ministry of Education will ensure teachers are equipped well to handle CBC, with priority given to those who will be handling grade 7 students.
We must, to the extent possible, make education cheaper. The moment you move the place where the kids are going to be further than the primary, you're already making it more expensive. Yeah? And you're already working against the transition. You know? And because the whole concept is to make education affordable. Yeah? Affordable. And the affordability of education, even as we were pushing, is we should have more day schools because day schools are affordable.
Another recommendation is 30,000 teachers will be recruited by the end of January 2023 to deal with the issue of shortage of teachers in the country. The 49-member task force has until March 2023 to table the final report as the country experiences for the first time 3 groups of candidates sitting for the national exams. Brian Amwai, Lookuptv, Nairobi. Now, Alive and Kicking social enterprise company in partnership with Lookuptv and other organizations on Thursday organized an AIDS program at Dagoretti Sub-County Hospital in Mutuni as the nation marks the World AIDS Day. Now, the event that has seen a good attendance rather. Let me just take that again. The event that saw a good attendance of locals as locals came to strike. Let me just check that again, I'm sorry. Alive and Kicking social enterprise company in partnership with Lookuptv and other organizations on Thursday organized an AIDS program at Dagoretti Sub-County Hospitals in Mutuni as the nation marks the World AIDS Day. Now, the event that has seen a good attendance of locals comes as the strikes more than 34,000 people and more than 2 million losing their lives, the highest number records, which is 52% of an age group of 15 and 29 years.
Sub-County Hospital in Mutuini, residents stand out in large numbers to an event organized by Alive and Kicking social enterprise that people are to be tested and get a ball. This is one of the families among others present that now boast of an assurance of being safe after taking a testing step.
That news ya jana ndio ilifanya nikuje leo. Nijijue nisikue maybe mimi ni mwadhiriwa na sijijui nianze kujipata maybe afya inadhorotisha inaharibika.
Ningetaka sana, unajua nilikuwa nimekaa sana kabla sijaangaliwa. I was coming just to know status yangu. Yeah, even though I was sure of it, sometimes usikuange sure 100%.
Despite knowing their status and even after being together for a long time, they feel that the danger of the virus might be roaming around without notice.
Yeah, it is a matter of trust, but pia kuna accidents do happen. Napata ulienda kusaidia mtu kwa first aid, alikuwa positive, amekuwa affect.
In addition, they call on the government and other private sectors to initiate such programs which aims to build up the society.
Ukiangalia line huko ni kubwa. So watu wamekuja kutestiwa at the same time mtu akipata something. Kenya, it all depends on what am I getting in return.
We need a lot of initiatives like these ones. Watu wakuja wapimwe ndio, there is that person uko kwa kijiji maybe anaogopa, maybe it is expensive.
On the other hand, those that participated in the event did not lack a word.
And I've just come to know my status.
Wale wako huko wasiogope, wakuje wapimwe, wajijue hali hao.
Unajua sika vijana, hii ugonjwa ni sina tu affect sana. Sasa lazima mtu ajue status yake ndo uweze adika play safe.
Since 2004 till now, the organization has been running these programs and creating awareness of the HIV and AIDS. Martin Bernard, one of the organizers, states that the results are appealing.
And the realization was that the ball is a fantastic tool when you're talking about creating awareness of social issues, particularly.
According to the report from the National Syndemic Control Council, in the new cases of up to more than 34,000 people, 70% are women and girls, with a prevalence of 4.5% are of adolescents and people aged 15 and 49.
Research has shown we have more women who know their HIV status as compared to men. About over 80% of women do know their HIV status.
In an interview with Dr. Josephine, the early testing is vital for a person's self-being and the build-up of the society.
As a healthcare worker, getting yourself tested, knowing your status. If you do test negative, making sure you remain negative. If you do test positive, getting yourself to a point of care so that there is treatment, it's available, it's free.
Also, it is not a one-man responsibility, but a collective one, including the efforts of the public and the private sectors.
This heavy weight, to carry the heavy weight together, because it belongs to all of us as Kenyans, it doesn't belong to just the government, it's not the work of the government only. And I do know that, like, for example, private hospitals, they do actually do a lot when it comes to HIV testing.
And as the nation marks the World AIDS Day across the country, Alive and Kicking hopes that many will come to be tested and get a ball. Moses Okech, Lookuptv.
Now, President William Ruto on Thursday played host to leaders from Western Kenya, led by KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli. And as Edwin John Mukora reports, the leaders who paid a courtesy visit to the president at State House Nairobi discussed Western Kenya politics and labor regulation matters.
3 months after the August polls, political realignment seems to be taking center stage, with unlikely figures now dining on the same table months after a heated campaign that saw the declaration of William Ruto as president. In what seems to be a scenario of a foe-turned friend, the visit by Atwoli to State House came as a surprise to many, since the controversial trade union head was at the forefront, campaigning against President William Ruto to the point of stressing that Ruto's name would not be on the ballot. But now, Atwoli seems to be dancing to a different tune as he led the Luhya delegation to State House in attempts to form alliances that would benefit the Mulembe nation politically. The two leaders seem to be burying the hatchet as they now shake hands in smiles, putting the bitter pronunciation they uttered during the campaign period behind them. Atwoli was accompanied by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale, among others. For now, it's a matter of time till it's realized if this is another handshake and if Atwoli has decamped from Azimio. Edin John Mukora, Lookuptv.
Now, a middle-aged man has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for throwing his alleged girlfriend through the window from the 12th floor at the M-Bank building in Nairobi after an altercation.
Moses Gatama Njoroge has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for his role in throwing his ex-girlfriend off the 12th floor of the M-Bank House building in Nairobi's Central Business District on September 13th, 2020.
Indeed, the offense has brought an impact to the victim and family. Accused is a first offender, although in denial of the offense. Section 234 of the Penal Code provides for life sentence in offense of this nature. However, taking into consideration the young age of the accused and his willingness to rehabilitation to work on his anger and alcoholism, the court is persuaded to sentence the accused person to serve 5 years imprisonment. You have 14 days right of appeal.
According to the victim, Eunice Wangari Wakembe, who appeared before the court in March this year, narrated that she met with Gatama through Facebook, and it is during their first date that the accused threw her off the window for rejecting his sexual advances. The magistrate ruled that the evidence adduced before the court and all the essential ingredients of the offense of grievous harm had been proved beyond reasonable doubt.
The court has considered the accused mitigation as well as the pre-sentence report. The pre-sentence report is comprehensive to include accused personal history as well as victim sentiments and probation officer's recommendation. I have put all above into consideration. The victim life changed drastically out of the commission of the offense. The victim is still undergoing counseling and physiotherapy at Nazareth Hospital after 2 years of the event. She has not been able to continue with her studies at NIBS. Indeed, the offense has brought an impact to the victim and her family.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, in this week's episode of Born a Man, Robert Waweru Njaramba, a 42-year-old barbershop owner, reveals to us that in the 22 years of running a barbershop business, barbershops are among the places that men will call a safe haven.
My name is Robert Waweru Njaramba. I'm a barber by profession. Wakati my dad aliona ni kitu iko ndani yangu, alijaribu kuniambia vitu zingine naweza fanya nini, lakini nilimwambia nataka kuwa kinyozi. Wakati nilimwambia hivyo, ndio alininunulia mashini za kwanza. Zile tulikuwa tunaziita kam. So tulikuwa hizo ndizo nilianza nazo. Nikaenda tu nikiadvance. So wakati nilimaliza shule ndio akaniambia kama hiyo ndio unataka, twende sasa Nairobi. Dandora, huko ndio nilianzia safari yangu ya kwanza. That is back in 1999.
Okay, sawa. Ngoja na utuma. Okay.
What keeps me going is my family. Seeing my wife, seeing my children, and nililelewa na hardships mob sana. So I could see my dad and my mom walikuwa na hustle sana, but hata kama hawangetupatia ile kiwango unaweza sema ya kisasa, they did their best. So my family, siwezi taka kuona watoto wangu pia ati wanateseka. My lowest time as a provider imekuwa ni wakati COVID iliingia. And I remember the CS wakati huo alisema barbershops and salons huko ndio COVID ina spread zaidi. So watu waliogopa. Nilikuwa nakaa hata siku 2 sijanyoa mtu. Watu hii hawajui kama kuna COVID, watu hii hawajui kama unaweza provide ama huwezi provide. All they know is that wewe ndio kila kitu. Ilikuwa ni challenge until wakati nilionyesha clients kuwa naweza vaa protective gear na pia naweza wa visit kwa home zao, naweza enda kuwanyolea kwa ofisi zao. That's when mambo ilianza kuamka. What guides me is the fear of God, first of all. and the passion I have for what I do. Some of my top clients, niko na watu kama akina Churchill, akina MCJC, watu kama akina Moha, anajulikana kama Mheshimiwa Mohamed Jichopevu, na wengine ni wengi. The list is long. I started by becoming a provider kwa familia yetu. Nilikaa kama 2 years or 3 years kabla sijaenda ushago wakati niliingia Nairobi. Kwa sababu ile kidogo nilikuwa napata naambiwa huku njaa imezidi, huku sijui nini. And my dad had an accident before niingie Nairobi. So ilibidi sasa mimi nichukue nafasi yake. Wakati pia nilipata familia, siwezi sema nilikuwa stable sana, lakini nao pia miaka ilikuwa inasonga. Na unajua society nayo ilimechukulia mwanaume lazima mapema ndio wanasemanga mapema ndio best. So wana expect kuna mwanaume anaoa haraka. Wanataka especially the parents wanataka kuona wajukuu. So kila saa unapata mwanaume na yeye hupewa pressure sana. Kwa nini haujatuletea bibi? Mbona haujatuletea watoto? So ilikuwa ni pressure na imekuwa ni pressure, but ukijua what you want in life and you put passion in it, utaenda mbali. I wish society inaweza badilika. Ile pressure ambayo mwanaume hupigwa, lazima afanye, yani unapata anaambiwa kila kitu lazima afanye. Na unapata ni kama mwanaume hana say ikifika ni mzigo ikiwa mzito kwake. Umeambiwa provide for this, hii side lazima usimame, you are wewe ndio uko na security ya familia, wewe ndiye kioo ya society na nini. The same way unapata society inasema tunafaa ku treat women the same way we treat men. And then society bado inasema what a man can do, a woman can do better. Tunajaribu ku empower women zaidi, yet the responsibility bado imebaki kwa mwanaume. Mwanaume asipewe pressure, kwa sababu society imefanya mwanaume ati hawezi sema hii kitu imekuwa nzito kwangu. Mwanaume hafai kulalamika, so mwanaume hafai kulia, mwanaume hafai kuonyesha emotions, but he's human. He feels pain wakati mambo imekuwa nzito. Men cry inside. Lakini tunafaa kuchukulia mwanaume pia ajulika, hata yeye mwenyewe feel yeye ni mwanaume. Unapata mtoto wa kiume kutoka akiwa mdogo anaambiwa hakuna kulia, wewe ni mwanaume. Mimi nasemanga nikafunguliwa tu hivi niseme zile vitu men huongea hapa ni mob. Men share, especially wakati wamekutana kwa kinyozi. Secondly, kwa bar. Huko ndio unapata wanaendaga kutoa frustration zao. Wakienda wapata na group mbaya, utapata hiyo group wataongea vitu negative. That's when utapata wameanza kukuwa na tabia ambazo si poa. Na mtu anaweza kuja akiwa na negative mind about marriage, mtu anaweza kuja ongee negative things about life, but once tumeshare na wao, wakati kuna word utampatia, utasikia mtu anakuambia by the way Roba, hapo umenisaidia. Ama hata anafika kwa ofisi anakupiga anakuambia Roba, ile kitu uliniambia mazi, hiyo kitu sijaifikiria na hiyo angle, nimefeel poa. If a man is listened to, vitu nyingi zitakuwa rahisi. Wengine wanahepa kwa familia zao kwa sababu they can't argue with the people or the people they are living with, their wives. Maybe they don't want to show their children that wamelemewa na kulemewa sio issue. Issue ni kukaa chini mnaongea. So I wish men wanaweza kuwa napewa hiyo platform wasikike.
Right, now that is Born a Man by Cecilia Lubanga. It is an episode that comes to you every Thursday and repeated on Friday and also on Saturday. So keep it Lookuptv for such good content. Now, I want to take a short break here on the program. We are done with the news, but when we come back, we'll be coming back with Kuserereka Friday. That is the music with DJ Bonai, and also an artist is coming in studio. We'll be telling you some of a part of his journey and play some of his music and also just inspire us as we continue with ushering in the holidays. That is December. It is the 2nd of December. Don't go too far. Continue engaging us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brown on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag this morning is The Morning Drift, or if you like, Kuserereka Friday.
So mimi nilikuwa mmoja wa timu kubwa ya Hasla na ngojea mazao yake.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, ni awamu nyingine tena ya bunge la mwenyeji ambapo tunasikia tu maoni ya wenyeji hasa wananchi wa kawaida. Je, maoni ni yapi?
Anakwambia wananchi ndio kila kitu. Unaona dipsi na system ni wananchi. Unaona vile wamenyorosha watu bwana.
Tumeng'oa nanga kwenye bunge la mwenyeji.
So ile kitu nasema tunamuomba asituachilie.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical